So, I've been given the task of rounding the day off, and it won't take long. First of all, obviously, thanks to everyone for coming. I really appreciate it. Manchester is, Salford, should I say, is a long way out for some people. The traffic has had its moment, and the weather has been usual, shall we say. But I appreciate everyone's effort for making the trip up here. It's sincerely appreciated. The note of thanks continues to everyone who's helped. So anyone who's took part organising the conference, all our sponsors, and all the people who've helped it along the way. Okay, because it took us by surprise, actually, how busy this conference was. And we keep having to extend the kind of sold out thing. So thank goodness not everyone turned up, because it could have been a fire hazard. So really appreciate everyone coming up. I really appreciate everyone's help with the Smart Meters Lab and the kind of long journey that's been. It's not been as easy as it could have been, but I really appreciate everyone's help. So just to kind of round up today, I think it was great that it was kind of felt in a good way this day, as far as I'm concerned, because we started off with the bigger picture stuff, the background. Some people might have already been aware of that, but some people wouldn't have been aware of that. And there's a lot of acronyms that we've used this afternoon that we needed to have described this morning for the people who maybe not experts around that thing. So the background of regulation was fascinating to a lot of people, because it was what should be, and it's also what's coming up. So we had, for instance, the hardware design and software with Nick, the future of smart meters and what they can currently do and what they're going to do in the future, and maybe what different parts of them might do. And that was opened a lot of people's eyes, hopefully. DCC and how we collect the data, and I think the up-to-date figure is 350,000 SMETS 2 meters, and obviously rapidly increasing. I think it's 8 meters a minute that's going in, so I don't know how many has gone in since Simon left, probably a lot. So we kind of well on the way, and SMETS 1 will roll, and I'm pretty happy that will all go in from the stories I've heard. So, you know, we're seeing big changes around that. So the DCC is going to be a big part of what we all do, in one way or another. And it's good to see that the research lab and everything, the testing lab, is coming on nicely as well. Then I did my bit about the lab, which is okay. Then we talked about the supplier innovation side. That to me that's the big thing that I think could change. So you've got people like Octopus, for instance, that other suppliers are available, that are kind of pushing on really quick, really early. But I have to say that I'm expecting that other people will join that, and maybe that's a good thing, and jumpstart a new industry around innovation suppliers, and they'll want to catch up with each other and things like that. So I think that's good, not a bad thing. Smart Energy GB. So that to me was a fascinating piece of research, as in certainly the bit around I would hand over my energy bills to Spotify or to Netflix or to Sainsbury's. I think it could be a big thing in the future. And a lot of people are talking about that when you buy a house. I mean, it's the same when you buy a car. You could also say, well, you get your insurance and your petrol thrown in. That wasn't happening 12, 15 years ago. So that could be a big part of what's to come. So yeah, I think that's also gives us, as innovators in the room, some ideas about what we should be doing. So, you know, we've already seen the evidence that people are ready to start paying Sainsbury's, if you like, for their energy. Well, let's try and make some headway towards kind of making that type of thing happen. Let's see how that goes. So there's some ideas about what we should be developing there. Then we had Citizens Advice. It was a fantastic presentation. But to the point, we shouldn't, you know, and Will was spot on, we should always consider the full range of people that live in the UK. There are people that would engage, as people would disengage for different reasons. And I guess as innovators, We need to make sure that we are covering all the bases. Okay, we should be addressing all the people's needs that we're aiming these products at, which is everyone. Okay? So we shouldn't ever discriminate against who can use the technology or the systems or the software that we use. Then we had Richard talking about how we test buildings, how we measure buildings, how we look at things like if a building is insulated, how do we make sure it's insulated well, different methods of doing that, and from a quality assurance standpoint. Interesting stuff. And then we talked about how things are going to change. Okay, so David pitched the kind of the energy futures, the revolution. I think if we go right back to the start, we talked about the hardware and the software within the meters. That ultimately will address a lot of this future energy revolution. And I think, I'm going to round it off on this. I think there's a lot of things that are possible with the stuff that's going in people's homes now. So those 20 meters that were put in during Simon's talk can do a spectacular array of things. Okay, I think our goal as innovators, and we should be compelled to make sure that happens. I think that what's going in at the moment is smart in the way that it works, but we could make these things do smart things. And I think that is what we should all be looking at doing. That's all I've got to say. Okay, thanks for opening.